In this video, I'd like to address the single biggest issue I personally have with EA Sports UFC 3 right now. When you watch mixed martial arts and one fighter gets tired and the other fighter does not get tired, there's a very real consequence. One that bypasses knowledge, skill, raw power, even experience. The most skilled fighters out there become a shell of their former self once fatigue sets in. There's a saying that fatigue makes cowards of us all, and we've seen this play out in fights repeatedly. We just saw it happen last night with Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. What we see consistently is when a fighter gets tired, it diminishes the fighter's actual fight skill so much that they might as well not exist at all. The fighter becomes more stationary, his striking speed reduces greatly, and as he gets more tired, his strikes go from slow to utterly sloppy. His power also diminishes greatly, and if his opponent is fresh, it becomes a clinic. A question of how long will his toughness hold him up. And we see this happen all the time. Seriously, without conditioning, without stamina running through your lungs, you can't do anything. This is why fighters spend so much time making sure that they are in fight shape. Because they know no amount of game planning, no amount of skill, speed, power, experience, none of that will matter if you go in there and you get tired. Conditioning and stamina is what drives your skill. It's the fuel that drives your skill, like a car that basically becomes useless without fuel inside of it. It doesn't matter how amazing the car's performance is. It doesn't matter how fast the car can go. It doesn't matter what the performance is. Without fuel in that tank, the car will just sit there, stationary. It's gonna be just like any other piece of metal. This is why certain fighters build a game plan around this. They wait till the aggressive fighter burns his energy, then they take the fighter into deep waters and drown them, and from there, it's usually very easy. I'm stressing this so much because I simply do not understand why, in EA Sports UFC 3, when your stamina is ridiculously low, you're still able to move just as fast as you were in round 1, when you were still 100% fresh. I mean, this completely defies logic. Can anyone logically explain to me why this should be acceptable in a video game that is supposed to represent MMA? The stamina system for the most part has been greatly improved. If you throw a lot of wild strikes and you miss, absolutely, you will gas out. But what is the point of gassing out if the consequences are not severe enough to send a clear message to players that they need to watch their stamina? Look at the footage I'm going to show you right here. This right here is Conor McGregor in round 1. Look at how fast he moves. Cool, right? Well, he's fresh. He should be able to move that quickly. He should be able to cover that much distance. But now look at Conor McGregor with very low stamina. Why is he still moving just as fast as he was in round 1? I mean, do we really need to pull up references? Do we really need to start showing how much his overall movement speed slowed down in his fights versus Nate Diaz where he gassed? And in the boxing match he just had versus Floyd Mayweather? Which is literally what Floyd Mayweather built his whole game plan around? Waiting for Conor McGregor to slow down and then just ran through him. The second Conor slowed down, all the amazing work he was doing in the first round, all of that completely went out the window because there was no fuel in his body to allow him to do the amazing things he was doing in the first few rounds. Because fighters can still move this fast as they move in round 1 when they're still fresh. Players can spam. They can get their stamina this low and just casually walk away from you when you try to punish them. They will even walk away from you dancing around like Dominic Cruz, moving their head, throwing uppercuts, throwing combos, and actually catch you as you're trying to move in to punish them for wasting their stamina. If your stamina is this low, you should be moving around the cage so slow that it won't take any effort at all to catch up to you tee off on you, and get you out of there. That is what is realistic. That's what we've seen happen repeatedly in MMA. I can prove it. If you've been watching MMA for a considerable amount of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That should be the consequence of being low on stamina. This way, when you run into an overly aggressive opponent, you can just smile, move away, wait, defend yourself, and then in the later rounds, just toy with them and get them out of there. This is what is going to force players to slow the heck down, because right now, players are still way too aggressive. You compare this to Fight Night Champion, for example. Not only do you visually see the fighter with his mouth wide open, breathing heavy, you can see right here that the Muhammad Ali on the left is not as bouncy. He is more stationary, his posture is not high and tight like it was when he was still fresh, and when you start moving, you notice a significant speed reduction. His lunging is now labored. You can clearly tell this dude is tired as heck. This is what is needed in EA Sports UFC 3. And if two players decide to brawl, the third round should look similar to the Eddie Alvarez versus Justin Gaethje fight that we just saw yesterday. Great fight, by the way. Both guys were so tired, so sluggish, so slow, very labored, way more flat-footed, literally just standing in front of each other now. That's what makes a fight like that feel gritty and tough and dirty. It's that slow, grinding, give it all you've got, emptying out the gas tank feeling that makes fight like that so memorable. This needs to be fixed in UFC 3. I'm telling you, if players know that the consequence of being low on stamina is grave, it will encourage players to slow down in the only way that they understand. So what specifically do I want? Well, I want fighters to become significantly diminished in every way as their stamina gets really low, simply put. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see the overall movement speed diminish as a fighter's stamina starts to go down. Overall strike speed should diminish as a fighter's stamina starts to go down. The damage that strikes do should diminish as a fighter's stamina starts to go down. I'd like to see more pronounced hit reactions as stamina goes down. A straight that might slightly knock your head backwards when you're fresh will knock your head back significantly when you're tired. I'd like to see the hits done on labored strikes lowered. Holloway, for example, was not walking through shots Aldo was throwing. I mean, he wasn't being hurt, he wasn't getting knocked down, he wasn't being rocked by the shots, but he was not walking through them. He wasn't brawling with Jose Aldo in the earlier rounds when Aldo was still fresh. That would have been a bad idea. But the second Jose Aldo got tired, the second Max Holloway noticed that Aldo has slowed down significantly, Holloway upped the aggression. He stood right there in front of him, teeing off on him, blasting him. And he was not being affected by the shots. He was actually now walking through the shots, hitting Aldo over and over and over again. And his own shots now had way more pop to it because he had more stamina. I want to see something similar to this. Lastly, I'd like to see the block break down with fewer shots as fighters get tired. Everything that I've asked for here is realistic. It's something that we've seen happen repeatedly in MMA and something that will greatly benefit the game and force players to actually play this game correctly, realistically. If you enjoy watching MMA Mortal Kombat where players are throwing hundreds of strikes per round, then I guess go right ahead and dislike the video and disagree with me completely. But don't come complaining to me. Don't complain to me telling me that all you run into are overly aggressive players and you're not being rewarded for watching your stamina and trying to take them into deep waters. I'll just look at you, shrug, like, I told you so. If you do agree with the points I made here and you feel the same as I do about this topic, then share the video. With stuff like this, there's strength in numbers. The more people agree and ask for it, the chance that it'll actually happen significantly goes up. So go ahead, share the video. If it's a good idea, it'll shine. And if it's a bad idea, well, the public will shoot it down and that'll be that. Either way, we make progress. I also want to know what your thoughts about the video is in the comment section below. If you have anything additional to add, something that I might have left out. And for this video, I'm focusing specifically on stamina for this particular video. There are a few other things about the game that really bugs me, but this one really bugs me. So if there's something else you want to add about the stamina, something that you feel really strongly about, let me know in the comment section below and we'll all talk about it. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot. And I'll see you guys again shortly. Be safe.
Excellent shots in this fight tonight, but more often than not, it has been one and done. So the emphasis now moving forward, combinations. Throw your punches in bunches and really try to force the issue and get your opponent out of it. Tried to set up the straight left, but he missed.
Oh, big shot.
Yet another combination is good. Nice counter right hand lands for him. Well, he gets cracked to the head there, Joe. He continues to be vulnerable by leaning in. He's almost moving into the strike at this point in time. You got to get that head off the center line. He landed that punch flush.
Oh, excellent exchange there. Nice jab.
Well, he misses with the left punch there. And he connects there, Joe. Massive left hand.
By Poirier. Oh, he tagged him with the left.
He's got him hurt here. Oh, he might be out.
Oh! He's out cold. Fantastic fight. Straight punch on the button, got the win.
Yeah, Joe, just the way he drew it up as he gets the knockout victory here tonight, it's hard to land a strike more flush than he did right there, and I'm not even sure the opponent saw it coming, so he'll see the replay and probably shake his head. Here is Bruce Buffer with the official decision. Ladies and